Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here for another love circle. And today we are talking about creating safety within. Now, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Safety is something that we all crave and we want, but we don't know how to create it within us. So, most adults, it's a continuous journey. We are looking for safety outside of us. We are looking for safety in the validation. We look for safety by micromanaging other people, by dictating how they're supposed to be, so we control our perception. We look for safety by judging other people. We look for safety by eating or overeating or substance abuse. There's so many different ways we look for safety, but the most important one is we want to be a good person. We want to be liked by other people. So we will keep ourselves so small, so invisible, so we don't get rejected, so we don't go towards unsafe or a danger zone. That is what keeps most of us playing small and not sharing our light. And when we sit down and we complain about why the world is such a dark place, we want to blame the politicians, we want to blame the world, we want to blame systems and capitalism and all kind of stuff. But my friend, I invite you to look within you. Where are you keeping yourself safe? Because you don't want other people to reject you. You want to seek their validation. You'd rather be liked than you share your light. That right there, you're adding to the chaos of the world that we live in today. And if we want it to be any different, it is our responsibility to transform that darkness within us into the light that we all are. So let's dig in. I'm so excited about today's topic. As I mentioned a little bit, safety equals control. Whenever you find yourself trying to control a situation, whether it is trying to think of the worst case scenario, coming up with so many plans, that is how we try to control our environment. Of course, we live in a human society. There's some system we need to follow through. We need to pay our bills. There is that control. But I'm talking about when we start controlling how I need to be and how the other person need to be. More so, how the other person needs to be. A lot of relationship trouble comes when we have a perception of a person which is completely ours, and we don't even realize that it's completely your perception. We don't realize that the person you're looking at could be somebody completely different. If we let go of that perception, we don't even question our perception. We take pride in our perception. We say, I know this is how this person is. But my friend, what if they are not that? What if that is a vision of them or an image of them you have created and that is completely yours? It has nothing to do with them. What about that? How about we entertain that idea? When we try to control what's happening around us, in terms of the place where we are living, we don't want to move to a different neighborhood. We don't want to change our job because we feel so safe. We want it to be same. And I can tell you, I used to be the safety queen. Things cannot move. Everything needs to stay same. My schedule needs to stay same. I never wanted anything to change. I wanted to draw the straight line, always wanted to walk on it. But today I am walking more of a spiral than a straight line. And I will take you through the process, how I got here, and I invite you to come along so you can access that light within you that wants to come out. So, what happens when we don't feel safe? Let's first talk about that. We understand that we want to feel safe, we want to be in control, so we are micromanaging, we are trying to control everything. Sometimes we even like to micromanage God. We want God to show up in our life or abundance certain way. When it doesn't, we don't like that. But let's talk about what happens when we don't feel safe. When we feel attacked, when we feel like, oh my God, now this person is going to know about me, now I feel vulnerable, now I feel exposed. When we have those feelings come up, or when we feel like, this thing I put here and now it's moved, I'm not feeling safe because of that, that is when we go towards numbing ourselves. And that is when we go towards hyper focus controlling things. But let's talk about the numbing part. How do we numb ourselves? And if you say, like, I think I'm above and beyond that, invite yourself to question that. No matter how long you have been on this transformational healing journey, somewhere, somehow, even till this day, you're numbing yourself. Otherwise, you won't be in the human body. Otherwise, your transformation would be complete. You'll be pure light. You'll be out of this body. So as long as we are here, we can go one more layer deeper. The general ways we try to numb ourselves: binge watching TV, um, eating, substance abuse, sometimes excessive traveling. That is when we just can't sit home, but we know that there's something in our life that we want to focus on. We need to focus on for the sake of our own well-being. If you're not there yet, that's another story. But being aware of our own behavior is 50% of the work. Because if you're not aware of your own behavior, then, there's nothing you can do for yourself, because you don't even know that there is a shift that is required within you. So what are the ways that you are numbing yourself? And every way we use to numb ourselves takes us away from our light. It takes us away from our center, away from our own essence and our own presence. So that is the most important thing to keep in mind, that every time you go towards this distraction, because you don't want to deal with this sense of unsafety you're feeling within you, that is how far you're going from your light. And what that does, it stalls your growth. We are not talking about allowing yourself to rest. For I think those people who identify as high achievers, I personally don't. But for those of you who do and who want to use every single second of your 24 hours, when you are giving yourself time to just relax, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when something happened at work, you're feeling very uncomfortable, you come home and then you do nothing for the evening, and then you just eat, eat, eat. And the next day you're not doing anything for it. You just eat, eat, eat. Maybe the decision that you're looking for is quit this job and find a better one. But that sense of unsafety is making you feel so uncomfortable that you rather numb yourself than actually address it. One more point I want to mention so there is no confusion. When we are going through a big life shift, any kind of shift, and there are emotions that we need to process and we need to feel through them, that is when it's required of the system that exists within us to pause and just feel it. So there is a chance in those moments you would feel like doing nothing. You might be just sitting there and being with it. You might be going in nature, but you wouldn't feel like doing any work. That's normal. But if you add binge watching TV, eating all kind of junk food to that, calling and talking to everybody for whatever thing, but not really addressing, that is not processing. So just wanted to put that out there for anyone who's going to watch. I don't want you to get confused about this. And now we want to look at where this sense of unsafety started. Every child is born pure light. And then we come to this world, and then we do get exposed to whatever set of darkness that we, each and every one of us, are going to expose to. And that is when the concept of feeling unsafe is introduced, because when there is a separation between us, between, like, let's say this is the soul, when there's a separation between soul and the ego is developing, when we reject our true essence and we adopt to become this child who's going to play a certain role, that is when the sense of unsafety is introduced into our system. Because before that, we feel very aligned. We feel like something else is providing for me. I'm okay within me. And, it could be less than a year for a child, or it could be when they were 7. It could be extreme trauma of losing a parent in a young age, or it could be, something uh, physical nature, something sexual nature, or it could be like mommy didn't pick the child up at the time that she was supposed to, and they had to like, wait in the principal office for an hour. It could be something small, it could be something big, but at some point, separation occurs between us. That's why we come in the human experience, and then we try to find our way back to our essence, to our core, and some people will never find their way back. And that's okay too. We get to make a choice. So now when we are living with that separation within us, we become used to that. We become used to playing those roles of victim, of being the good one, of being the caregiving one, or being the peacekeeper. We get attached to those roles. So what happens? They become our safety. Then we don't want to ditch them. We don't want to discover who I will be outside of this role. So we stay clinging to those roles because we don't want it to change. And most of us, that is where we are stuck because we don't even want to question it. Like everybody, when we talk about these things in our society that we live, it's highly praised when you are the giver, when you are bending backward and helping everybody. But we don't look at how it's hurting you, how the reason you're showing up at every, volunteer opportunity is to seek validation from outside of you. Only you'll be able to discover that. No one else can do that for you. That is it requires being very, very, very honest with yourself. So keeping that layer on top, even the trauma that we very proudly sometimes carry, when we start working through it, it becomes our safety. Now, let me put this question out for you. Who you would be if none of that trauma existed for you? Who you would be if you had the best of everything? Who you would be? Most of us have very hard time even imagining that, how life could be. Or let's say if all this trauma that we carry is just a jacket we are wearing, let's say if we let go of that, who we would be in our naked essence, who we would be. That is the question I invite you to bring along. Take it on a walk, bring it to meditation practice, or you can take it as we are moving through this conversation. So now let's look at creating safety within. What is safety? If we look at it, there's two general types: physical safety, psychological safety. Physical safety is there's a real danger and you need to run away from that. Very easy, very simple, very self-explanatory. No need to go into details. Everyone can understand that. The second one, psychological safety. That is, my friend, what I'm talking about. This whole conversation is about psychological safety. Because when I say, let's say right now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't feel safe within me. What does that really mean? Most likely I had a conversation with somebody few minutes ago or an hour ago, and they said something and made me feel something, and now I'm just feeling this weird feeling within me, and I'm like, what is this agitation, this anxiety, this fear? I'm not feeling safe, or I don't feel safe with this person. I don't feel safe going to that community. I don't feel safe being in this world. That is psychological safety because nobody is attacking you, physically attacking you. And especially now that we are in the age of social media, people feel so attacked. They carry that psychological safety because anyone can come and they can write any comment. They can say whatever to you. And if you have not nurtured that psychological safety within you, you know what you're going to do? You're going to run away, hide, and never come out. Or maybe you'll take 10 years to come back again because you felt attacked by that person. My friend, you and every single other person are one. There's no separation between us. We do live in an illusion where you're separate than me, but we are one. And that is where I'm going to take you. That is when you truly start feeling safe. When a person comes and they attack you psychologically, they're doing you a favor. When your mother-in-law calls you and she's saying all kind of garbage stuff to you, she's doing you a favor, because that is the moment where your soul is inviting you to rise above your ego. What is ego? Your personality, the things you have told to yourself about yourself, that I am X, Y, and Z. That is what's happening in that moment. But what we do, we grab that energy and we're like, yeah, that person is right. Whatever they are saying is right. I am this person. And now you hold on to that darkness. So what happens to bringing out your light? We forget about it. We break those relationships and we run away from those relationships for like sometimes decades. But that is an opportunity in your life in that moment where you can say, whatever this person is saying does not belong to me. It belongs to them. I'm still safe. But from that point on, you can also make a decision if you would like to be in a relationship with somebody like that. So it's not that we get to a level where we tolerate toxic relationships. We get to a level of inner safety where we can release without identifying, where we can receive without identifying. Because sometimes those people who are reaching out to you could be your own kids, it could be your partner, and it might be something that they are bringing to the surface that needs to be talked through and addressed. And when we start feeling unsafe, we shut down, our heart closes, and then we are not open to communication and growth. So now we are going to go deeper into psychological safety. What is psychological safety? In one sentence, it's a sense or a feeling of safety no matter what is happening outside of you. Pay attention to, I said outside of you. When your surrounding, whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, cannot scare you, that is when you feel safe. What does it really require to get to that level? Where your outside surrounding stop impacting your inner world. First thing, it requires understanding the nature of the universe, understanding the nature of your own creation, understanding that you and that person are one energetically, but in this human experience, they are bringing an opportunity for you to grow, to expand, to realize, to become aware. So what will happen? You'll stop taking them so seriously. You'll stop getting offended by whatever they have to say, because you realize, hey, me and this person are one. Energetically, we come from the same source. Even if they are in a very different looking body than mine, but energetically we are same. We all come from the same root, light. But in this brief experience, this person is providing me with an opportunity to learn something about me. For example, when someone says something like, about me, when they have a comment or compliment to what I teach, and they are going in a very dark direction, I look at it and I don't invite it into my existence, because they get to have an opinion. Everybody is okay having their opinion. So I would invite you to invite this consciousness. Everyone is welcome to have an opinion about you. But the second part is, do not identify with their opinion. Only identify with the opinion that you have of yourself. So whenever I come across somebody saying blah, blah, blah about me, I ask myself, Alia, what do you think about yourself? If I think that what I'm doing is my passion, it's my desire, that's all I need to focus on. It doesn't matter what million people say about me. That is my friend's safety. So the first thing I will invite you to do to create this psychological safety within you, where you're not depending on other people validating you or loving you or praising you or worshiping you, come within you and allow people to have an opinion of you. Do not micromanage them. Do not expect of them to praise you and validate you. Allow them to have an opinion of you. Allow your friends to have an opinion of you. Don't think just because they're a friend, they have to love you all the time. Allow your spouse to have an opinion of you. Talk through it. If that opinion does not align with where the relationship is going, allow your kids to have an opinion of you. You will bring so much freedom in your life, in your relationship, when you start building this psychological safety within you, because you know what is happening right now? You feel safe from your own self. Because when someone throws dirt at you in terms of like, all kind of negative words they are saying to you, and you hold it and you bring it home and you're like, oh, this is mine. This is who I am now. You know what you're doing? My friend, you're betraying yourself. But when you start saying whatever they're allowed to say, but I only go with the opinion I have of myself, now you're not betraying yourself. Now that part of you within you is going to align with you. You're going to feel energized. You're going to feel free. The things that we all human are looking for is the freedom and joy and peace. It is all an internal experience, and it happens in that moment. There's no pill you're going to take that is going to make you happy for the rest of your life. So first, we release the need for other people to like us by realizing they can have an opinion of their own. Second thing we want to focus on, whenever we are looking for safety, we are looking for control, um, we are running away from realizing who we truly are. That is a problem of acceptance, and we don't even know what acceptance we are not doing for ourselves. And that is accepting our nature, a true essence. The truth is, my essence, your essence is same. It is the soul. It's the energetical aspect of it. Someone can hurt my body. Someone can hurt my reputation, but no one can hurt my soul. So when you start realizing you're the soul, oh, nobody can leave a comment. Nobody can come to your home and say something. Nobody can do nothing against that soul. Because the other aspect of it is my soul and your soul is one to begin with. When we start inviting the unity consciousness in our physical human experience, we naturally start to feel safe. Now, if I'm sitting next to you, I don't even know who you are, I'm going to feel safe because somewhere in my consciousness, you and me are one. And you don't need to like me. I can be whoever I want to be. So it's surrendering to your divine essence. If you do have a difficult situation going on in your life that keeps making you feel unsafe, stressed, fearful, and you just cannot shake it off, invite this in your life. I am a divine being. In my divinity, I am always safe. We have never heard in any of the scriptures, and there have been many over the decades, over the many thousands of years that humans have been on this planet, the divine resources that we have available or other spiritual schools that we have, you will never find any parable, any story that a soul was hurt. Because no one can hurt a soul. Then why are we so afraid of being hurt? And it's a psychological fear. Why we are so afraid of being hurt? If we are afraid of dying, like, this person is going to come and they're going to attack me and then I'll die, that is a physical fear. That is not a psychological fear. Psychological fear is when we create these things in our head. Oh, now this person said, block me from their contacts, and now the other friends are going to block me, and then nobody's going to talk to me, and then I'm going to be alone. That means I am not a good person. We tell ourselves those stories. We create our own fears. When you invite that my soul can never be hurt, then all we have to do is live as the soul, not as the ego. Ego wants to control. Ego wants to be angry. Ego wants to judge. And when we start stepping into our life every single moment as the soul, and no one can hurt us, we can go into all kind of risky situations, adventurous situations, and we will have that anchor within us. I'm not talking about jump from a plane without a parachute kind of risk. I'm talking about if you do want to start an organization, you want to start a business, instead of staying stuck in that, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? Go for it. Nothing can hurt you. No financial crisis can hurt you. Your soul is always safe, and you can have access to that soul. You can have access to it anytime. Right now, you can close your eyes and you can feel your soul presence. Instead of feeling the fear, instead of feeling the comment that you were given, instead of feeling the phone call you're about to receive, focus on this soul essence within you, around you. It's love. It's going to open your heart, and you're going to feel so much ease moving through this moment. Inner safety is created in each moment. It's not created as once I have created this house, I can live in it forever. It's created in each and every moment, because every moment is going to give you a chance to expand a little bit more, connect with your soul a little bit more. So the first one we talked about is releasing other people of having an opinion of you. They're allowed to have that. Realize that you are a soul and you can never be hurt. And now the last thing that we want to talk about in terms of creating inner safety is the concept of making mistakes. Most of us, we stay stuck because we are thinking, what if I make the wrong decision? We create fear within us. What if I make the wrong decision? And we stay stuck in that. So many adults are not living their light. They're not living their passion because of, what if I make mistake? That means they don't feel safe within them. They don't feel safe. They don't trust themselves. They are looking for safety in their achievement. That if I start a business, it must succeed. It cannot fail. That is a very difficult thing to put on yourself. That's a lot of pressure to be put on yourself. So let's see how we can transform that. When we study the universe, one of the things we learn, there's no such thing as right or wrong. And if that comes blowing into your face, give yourself some moment to process it. There's no such thing as right or wrong. What we say right is just one option. When we say something is wrong, that is just another option, but both options lead to the same destination. When I learned this concept, it was mind-blowing, life-changing for me. No matter what you are doing, no matter what adventure you're starting, if you started from this place, releasing others of their opinion, you are a soul, nobody can get to you, and there's nothing you could ever do wrong. When you move forward with that attitude, now you're just learning. You're just learning, and you're not putting that pressure on yourself that's creating that internal fear. The way this universe is created, no matter what pathway you take, the whole universe readjusts itself for you to get to the same destination. But in a human body, we think I can make the right decision, I can make the wrong decision. It was the right investment, it was the wrong investment. If we look at the grand scheme of things, you could have learned from both. Human experience is about learning and expanding. It's not about looking for safety outside of you. We are in a human experience doing it the other way around. We're looking for safety outside of us, still never feeling safe. You will not find somebody, who has millions in their bank account and they'll say, having those millions makes me feel safe. If they're being honest with themselves, they have a fear, what if I lose it? What if, somebody comes and kills me and take my money? Even they have a fear. So whenever we try to feel safe by what I have achieved, what I have produced, what kind of decisions I have made, can I be a good person in this society? Because everybody is going to say, look at that person, they are so smart, they always make the right decision. If that is what you're leaning towards, that is not safety. You'll always have a fear within you. And if there's a fear within you, you're not feeling safe. You feel safe within you when you allow yourself to do whatever you want without thinking, is it the right thing or is it the wrong thing? Allow yourself to do whatever you want. Of course, keeping in mind you're not violating other humans' rights, because other human and you coming from one soul. So you cannot go and say like, Aliya, do whatever you want. I'm going to go hurt this person. We can't do that, because if you're hurting another person, you're just hurting yourself. You're not hurting them. You're just hurting yourself. Just having that in your consciousness is going to create so much safety within you, because you're going to experience the oneness with all. So start inviting this consciousness within you, this thought process. There's nothing I could ever do wrong. That is going to take off so much burden from your shoulders. If today you do nothing, that was the right thing for you to do. If tomorrow you do a lot of work, that was the right thing to do. Do not go against yourself, beat yourself up, and make yourself feel wrong for not working so much or working too much. That is when we are tearing our own home down. And that is what creates psychological unsafety within us, because safety is a very internal experience. Last point, if you're open to it, commit to becoming on your own team. The psychological unsafe sense of unsafety that exists within us, or me, if let's say right now I start feeling like this within me and I'm feeling unsafe within me and I'm like, this person is after me or that person is after me, if I start feeling like that, most likely I turn against myself at some point. Whether it was the opinion of other people, I started telling myself there's something wrong with me. I started telling myself I'm a failure. My opinion of me changed. So it ties us to the very first point that we talked about. So focus on being on your team. Raise your standard to a level where you don't allow yourself to say negative things to yourself. You don't allow yourself to say, I'm such a loser. I know we love to joke around about ourselves. We think it's funny, but that is the most disgusting thing, in my opinion, we can do to ourselves. Sitting publicly saying bad things about ourselves, it's not funny at all. We are injuring ourselves in that process. But also invite not to do that when nobody's watching, when you are just talking to yourself. Sometime outside we are the best version of ourselves, but in our alone time we are beating ourselves up. Because when you do that, that is when you are hurting yourself. So if you can promise yourself that you'll stop hurting yourself, you don't have to love yourself. I'm not asking you to get to the level of unconditional self-love. I'm just asking you, can you stop hurting yourself? Can you stop saying negative things to yourself? That's all. That's all we need to start feeling safe within ourselves, to keep a clean environment within us, an environment that is not filled with darkness. Anytime we throw judgment, criticism, guilt, and shame to ourselves, or fear, or worry, or doubt, we are filling our vessel with the darkness. No wonder it feels weird. No wonder it feels like we need to reach out and take from other people's light or their validation or their words, because we are full of darkness within ourselves. So start making those changes if you feel called towards it. And if feels like something that you want to go deeper and you want to embody these concepts and you want to go many, many layers deep, I would love to be your guide. You can go to my website, aliajamalcoaching.com, and you can book a consultation with me, or you can just send a DM if you're watching it on Facebook. And with this, we are coming to a conclusion, and I'm sending love to you all. I'll see you next week. Bye.